All righty, welcome back to the Lookout Podcast. I have a very special guest in Jan Mendoza, and I also have her webpage, so I'm going to do a quick intro for her real quick before we get into this thing. The legacy continues, Wildland Fire Women, and then it's www.wildlandfirewomen.com, and where you can find all this, your bio, I guess. And it starts off from Fire Girl to Rocker Chick, to Rocker Chick. So I'm gonna ask you about that here in a minute. But that sounds awesome. And just to hit the highlight for the folks listening or watching, you got to sing with Mr. James Brown, which I'm definitely gonna ask you about that because that sounds incredible. And then radio broadcaster, so you're better at this than I am. And you just mentioned you had a podcast too for a little bit. And then rodeo trick rider in your 40s, which is super impressive. I'll definitely ask you more about that in a second too. Media spokesperson. And then still adventuring these days, Jan hikes in the mountains of New Mexico with her husband, Alex, and dog Rebel. She continues to make music and art, which is super inspiring, Jan. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Yes, I guess we'll start at the beginning. I guess is Wildland Fire kind of start of it? Like, how'd you get in Wildland Fire?
Oh, so I was 18 years old, living in the dorms in college, and trying to figure out what I was going to do that first summer. And I didn't want to work at the mall, or like my parents wanted me to come home and get some, legitimate job. And so I saw this ad. Well, first off, let me back up. I was at a party, and this one guy that I knew, he was a mountain boy, and he had been working fire in the summers, and he was complaining. I overheard him complaining that they were starting to let girls in the fire service. Yeah. And
that's a weird thing to complain about.
This was in 1978, and they just had this feeling that we would just be a danger to them. We would be in the way, too weak, a big danger, just a big liability, slowing them down. And so I walked up there and I go, so what's this I hear about girls in the fires, wildland firefighting? And that was such a foreign term for me anyway. I had no idea what that was even about, what that even entailed. And so he just started going to this rant, and I said, well, maybe I'll just sign up. And he looked at me, he goes, oh, they'd never let you in, because I was 5'2". I was like this big around. I weighed about 95 pounds. It's this little tiny thing. And that was all the words I needed. I'm like, okay, dude, it's on. And so I saw this ad. It was probably a few weeks later, ads started coming up on the bulletin boards at the school. Female firefighters wanted. And the Department of Forestry back then, it was the California Department of Forestry, they tried to get women, I guess, like 2 years in a row, and nobody would sign up. Maybe a couple of women signed up, and that was it. So there was still this big push for, affirmative action, right, to get more women involved, because that was the thing, And so they're really trying to push. And so I thought, what the heck, man, I do not want to go home for the summer. This sounds exciting. And so I applied. And the next thing I know, I get a letter in the mail, and I now have to show up for a test, a physical test. And I'm like, oh crap, this is happening.
Yeah, it's time.
And so, and I'm still in school. I mean, school hadn't ended yet. It's probably, like May or something. And at the same time, I was very athletic. I was on the cross country track team. I was on the boxing club. I was very athletic.
Throwing some hands.
Yeah. I was very athletic. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try this. So I showed up to this high school where they had this huge testing, all these guys. There was like 500 guys there. I'm the only girl. I was the only girl there. And so I went through. That had to be
intimidating, huh?
It was crazy. It was so intimidating. I mean, talking about getting looks.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, what's she doing here? What's that little girl doing here? Is she even old? Was she 12? Because I swear to God, I looked like I was 13 or 12 or 13. And anyway, so I took all the tests, aced everything except for when it got to the pack test, where we had to, I forgot how long we were on the track at the high school, and we had this like this old canvas rucksack full of fire hose. And I think it weighed like 40 or 45 pounds. So I'm 95 pounds. That's half my body weight,
I was
right?
just gonna say, yeah.
And so we had to run, jog, whatever in a certain amount of time around the track. And I forgot how many times now, but I barely made it. I thought I flunked. I aced everything else. And I got the highest score on the step test. And sit-ups, I had been practicing with a 10-pound weight behind my neck. So I had those dialed. And I had all this other things just dialed, but that freaking pack test. So
Yep. It's still a challenge
anyway,
these days, and it sounds like it's probably
uh,
easier than it was then, you know?
I barely made it. I thought I flunked it, but I made it. And so then after that, I had to go in and do the interview with these guys, these guys at a table. I'm just sitting in this chair. And they just kind of looked at me and says, well, you passed the test, and you're hired. The only thing you have to do is cut your hair. And I'm like, my hair was super short, man. It was like a Dorothy Hamill haircut back in the day, right? It was like this little bowl cut thing. They
Yeah.
wanted me to cut it shorter. I'm like, okay. um, yeah. And then I was
Oh,
hired. And then I showed up for my first, like, I had no training. I went to a
so wait, time out real
class.
quick. Did they actually like that was a requirement to cut your hair, or were they messing with you?
I think they're just messing with me because I didn't touch my hair. I
Oh,
showed
good.
up, and I showed up to the station. I had my hair was exactly the way it was. As a matter
That's
of
what I was
fact,
thinking.
when I started working, I started letting it grow out. They didn't say a thing to me. I think they were just messing with me.
Oh, I
Um,
bet. Yeah, I've heard. I mean, that still goes on today. Once in a while, people messing with folks for having long hair. You know.
right, right. Well, guys have long hair. It's like
Yeah, most of
so.
native crews, they're rocking them long. I
Mhm.
mean, I would always grow my hair way out in the summer. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it definitely was hot, and it is nicer to have it a little shorter and not in your way. But
For sure.
I wasn't gonna buzz cut my head.
Yeah.
It wasn't happening.
Oh, good.
So anyway, fast forward to my barely any training. I mean, literally barely any training. They sent us out on a fake. Well, it was a grass fire purposely set, and
Oh,
it was like a week long just crash course in firefighting. But basically, all we got was a little bit of fire behavior, you know, what causes fire, stuff like that in classroom. And then one day about fighting a grass fire on a pumper truck. That was it.
it's like you're
So
good to go.
I was good to go. So I was
Oh,
assigned to this little mountain station in Northern California in Lassen National Forest. I don't know if you're familiar with California, the Sierra. But
yeah.
and it was a tiny little station, and I was the first female to ever work there in its 50-year history. Well, it was 50 years old at that time, but I was the first woman to ever work there. And they had
Nice.
absolutely no accommodations for me. We had barracks with the beds lined up, just like in the army. And I
Oh
had the
yeah.
one and I had the bed on the end.
Yeah.
and,
That's as
and
private as it got.
yeah, exactly. I was closest to my closet, and no share. You made shared bathrooms, so we had to time that all out. And yeah, it was crazy. But the funny story, when I first drove up to that fire station, I checked in the office there, and the captain was there at his desk, and I walk in, and he's fiddling around on his desk, and he looks up, and he kind of gives me the squinted look, and he stares at me. He doesn't say a word. And all of a sudden he goes, yeah, I knew I was getting a girl. I just thought I was getting a bigger one.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, I hope he was
I'm like,
joking.
sorry.
Well, they say dynamite comes in small
Oh,
packages, right?
yeah, yeah. It was a crazy summer. Um, it's funny because over the years, I mean, I was involved in a rollover in the truck because I was on a pumper truck.
Shit.
And back in the day, we sat in those little jump seats in the back, right? There were no crew cabs. You weren't inside. You were sitting in these back of the truck in these little jump seats.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. So like the driver and passenger, and then they were in a cab, right? A single cab,
Yep,
and then
yep,
you were like directly behind?
yeah. And there's like these bench seats in the back, and that's where the crew sat, and we are completely
Oh.
exposed. There was a roll bar, around the cab,
Yeah.
but we were completely exposed back there. So You know, we drove for miles, getting to fires and the smoke and the dirt and the dust and the cold. You know, we were out there in those jump seats, man. I mean, and
Well, that's I mean, that's similar to the old fire trucks, right, from back in the day. But in those
yeah,
fire trucks, you're only going so far from a station typically, right? Because you're in a city and you're exposed. Like
yeah. I don't
the
know how
reason.
well you can see that picture,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Holy
but see
cow!
those jump seats back there?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
it's
picture
like
I
the bed
on
of the
my web
truck, huh?
on my website, I have all these pictures in better quality. Um, but
I'll check
but
it out.
but when we were fighting fire, we would have to cover for other stations, and sometimes these other stations were a couple hundred miles away,
Oh,
and we were in the
jeez.
back of yeah, and we were in the back of that truck traveling the whole way in the
Imagine at
freezing
some point.
cold, in
Yeah, imagine.
nighttime.
Yeah, I was gonna say, imagine at some point you just didn't care anymore what happened to you. You're just like, "Ah, whatever. I'm just here."
Yeah, you got so used to it, except for sometimes I thought I was going to freeze to death. But so I was in the truck on a big fire one time. We rolled that truck, rolled it,
Oh,
and we all bailed out. It was like one of those slow, he took a curve too fast, and we just did one of these and started rolling
oh.
over, and we all bailed.
So, which end were you
The
on? Were you
truck.
on the high side? So, like, like, did you have to scramble up the back and jump out, or?
You know what? It seems to me like we just bailed, and I just kind of jumped as the truck was rolling because there's like these boxes on the sides where there's our seats. I just kind of bailed out the side.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Man.
And I was involved in a really bad burnover. And let me tell you, we did not have fire shelters back then.
Whoa.
We did not have a fire. We did not have fire shelters.
Yeah, I didn't even think about
Um,
that.
we had
So,
we had MSA tanks. We had oxygen. We had the tanks because we were on a truck, so we
oh
had
yeah.
MSAs. But yeah, I would. The book talks all about the burnover incident, and I got out of there with second-degree burns.
Jeez.
And
So that
the paint on the truck melted, the light bar melted. I mean, it was insane. It was
holy
insane.
cow. What I don't want to take away from your book, but can I ask you, like, because I want people to go to your
Hmm.
book to get the full
Hmm.
story, right? But
It's kind of a long story, but yeah.
so I guess where were you at when the fire, got you? Were you like when you guys got overran? Were you in the back of the truck at that
So
point, or were you like next?
here was the thing, man. We were on the night crew on this fire. It was a huge forest fire, and it was in the Lassen National Forest where we were stationed. So our station actually was fire camp
Oh,
because we were the first crew to actually respond to this fire. It was a lightning strike. I'm getting text. Sorry about that. It
oh
was
yeah,
a
no worries.
lightning strike fire, and it started smoldering, and then it became a fire, and then we got called out on it, and that was the first night. But that's when we rolled the truck. So all this
Oh,
happened on one fire.
jeez.
So we rolled the truck, get into this fire, and then it was probably, I can't remember how many nights in because I was on the night shift. Maybe about 4 or 5 nights in, this fire was just completely out of control. We were called in to stage next to this bulldozer, and this bulldozer was way up this fire road in this little tiny clearing. It was just big enough for the bulldozer. The guy had bailed. I don't know. The guy that was manning the bulldozer was no longer with the bulldozer. I don't know what happened to him. He just bailed. So as we're cruising down this fire road, all of a sudden we're seeing hose lay just everywhere, just abandoned, just
Oh,
completely abandoned, right? And
it's a bad
so
sign.
yeah, a bad sign. Little 18-year-old me was going, okay, this is not right. This is not right. What's going on? Why are we still going in? Everybody else had bailed. And we just kept going in and kept going in. And I remember one of the crew members banging on the window, said, dude, what's going on? What's going on? And anyway, it's like, no, we got to get to this caterpillar, this bulldozer, this cat bulldozer. So we get there, all this fire is just like erupting all around us, all around us. And we get up to this bulldozer, and now we're just completely trapped. The fire
Oh,
is coming, and the only thing we could do now is just get out of the truck. We hosed ourselves down with water, and we got on our MSAs, and we just hunkered down. I mean, I had my head between my knees, and one of our crew guys And I talk about him in the book. He was cuckoo pants. He took off. He got freaked out and he took off. No
Oh,
mask, no air tank, no nothing. He just took off. And we thought, oh, that dude's dead. He's gone,
yeah.
right? Because this fire's coming and now we're just getting prepared just to be burned over. And so when the fire burned over us, I'm telling you, I mean, we had no mechs. We did have no mechs back then, but no fire shelter. And the fire just burned over top. It was so hot that it melted the light bar on the truck, it melted the paint, blistered the paint. I mean,
Oh,
that's how hot it was. And we just, all we could do was just hunker down. And the only thing that didn't kill us was we had oxygen. We had our tanks.
yeah,
And
smart.
so, and we were we were wet, we were just hosed down with wet, but it was still so hot that I got second degree burns through my Nomex. We found
Jeez,
the guy. What?
oh, so you're sitting right by the side of the truck, right? And
Yeah,
just trying
yeah,
to get away
yeah.
from a little bit of the flame front.
Just trying to, yeah, just trying to. We had the truck right in the middle of this tiny clearing. Let me tell you, this clearing was so tiny. It was just enough for the bulldozer, our truck fit in there, but the trees were just right there, and everything was crowning around us, and it just basically. And I tell people, they say, "What did it sound like?" I said, "It sounded like a freight train coming through." If you've never heard a fire that intense, I mean, it really does. That wind and that
Oh,
fire just makes just a roar. It's like a huge, like you're next to a locomotive that's coming right on top of you. That's what it sounded like to me. I guess like a
yeah.
combination of a tornado. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's loud. And I thought I was dead. I really, honest to God, I thought we were goners.
Well, and the mental
I really
fortitude that
did.
you guys had to just like sit there and take that pain and the heat. I mean, that's intense,
Yeah.
Jan. Holy,
Yeah. There's no
like,
place else to go.
did you just
And
like have something repeating in your brain, like, don't move, just it's gonna be over. I got
I'm
this.
gonna die. This is it. I'm gonna die. I was
That's what it
talking. I
was.
was like, "This is it." My life flashing before my. I mean, that's the what goes through your mind is just a trip. It's just like a whirlwind of stuff that goes through your mind. And every time I hear about a burnover incident, man, my heart sinks because I've been there. And it's just, and these guys that don't make it out, and they've got their fires in there, there's baked in their fire shelters, and they say the smoke is what's going to kill you first before you burn up.
Yeah,
And
the
I
hot
think that
gases, right?
yeah, the smoke. I mean, I have been like you, I'm sure, been in some intense smoke, and it's not fun, man.
No, it's awful. It's so
It's
awful. And I thought I'd get more used to it as I went on in fire, and I was almost more sensitive to it. Like my first few years, I could kind of ignore it more, but as I got more into fire, my nose would be running, my eyes would be burning. Like I couldn't take it very much as I got
it's
older,
awful.
and brutal.
It's awful. All we had was those little bandanas, that would get so soaked with mud that you could barely breathe through them,
Oh
because
yeah,
of all the
holy.
dirt and the mud and everything else. But the guy that ran and hid, we found him behind the caterpillar. He was back underneath. That dude. He washed out the next day. He was gone.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, just
Yeah,
mentally probably broken from that.
yeah.
Did he have any like burns and stuff from holding up in the
You
cap?
know what? I don't remember. I think so. Because we all did, and I'm pretty sure he did. What I couldn't believe is that the smoke didn't take him out because he had nothing, man. He just freaked out and ran, and we were
Oh,
screaming his name, but I doubt he could hear us. And we
well,
weren't
probably
going
not.
after. None of us were going after him. We're like,
No, yeah, for sure. His brain went to fight or flight, and he was in the flight mode, right? So
yeah.
just heading
And he was
heading for
he was an
Tulsa.
odd he was such an odd duck anyway. Everybody was just so annoyed by this guy. It was just he was so out of his element. Um,
Yeah, you'll have that
but yeah, you do.
in fire.
Oh my God. Same fire. Another incident happened to me as we were rolling up hose. We were out on the line, and and it was night, rolling up hose, and someone decided they were going to charge the hose at the truck. I think they flipped the wrong switch or something. I had a
Oh,
hold of that hose, and my thumb got caught in the hose, and
oh no.
I thought I had gloves on, but I thought all of a sudden I saw this. I mean, I'm like screaming, "Shut the hose down!" Anyway, they shut it down, and I had blood just coming down out of my glove. And I thought, "Oh my God, I lost my thumb! I lost my thumb!" And I was so afraid to take my glove off. My thumb was still there, but it was mangled. It was absolutely mangled. So
Oh,
I ended up on the injured list for gosh, about 3 or 4 days. But because being the only girl, and this is kind of fun. Well, for there on that fire, there were a few other girls out there, but they were Forest Service, because Forest Service, those there were girls sooner in the Forest Service than with Department of Forestry of California.
Yeah.
But we were still an anomaly. I mean, there were still just a handful of us out there. But I got to fly with the crew bosses on the helicopter and go check out the fires.
Oh, that's cool.
I know. So yeah, a captain of our station, he's like, hey, he was made one of the, head fire bosses. He's like, come on, meet me at the helipad. We're going for a ride. And I'm like, okay. And so
Oh,
anyway,
that's cool.
I got to do that. But I ended up being the driver for him in this fort, in this what would you have back then? Oh, Scouts, International Scouts. Those
Oh,
are our,
cool.
yeah, we had those. We had one of those at the station that we tooled around in. So I was his driver because I had this big giant bandage on, like a deranged hitchhiker. So I drove him up into this, way up into these burn areas, so we can check out, see, just kind of check out what the fire's doing around the perimeters and stuff. Well, it was night. We were way up this fire road, and we get the scout completely stuck
Oh no.
in the dust. It's like, crazy dust. It was just insanely deep. So he sends me off on this wild hike through the woods in the middle of the night to go try and find somebody to help us. All I had on me was a flashlight.
Oh no.
And I hiked for like, I don't know, 3 miles in the wilderness looking for
Oh,
somebody to help us. And
jeez.
yeah, and so I finally find a hotshot crew camped out and up in the middle of nowhere. And so they're like, where'd you come from?
Yeah, just
this,
a
little,
girl come out of the woods in the middle of nowhere, like a
this
bunch of
little
guys
girl that
probably
looks
like,
like she's 13, right, holding a flashlight.
yeah.
So anyway, I ended up, they pointed me they say, well, you guys, you can come with us, but we're getting ready to move out, whatever. But they did point me to this giant, God, D8 bulldozer that was parked up the road another half mile. So I went up to that guy, and he's like, where the hell did you come from? He gave me a ride all the way back to the scout, and there was no place for me to sit, and all I could do was just stand on the side of this gigantic bulldozer wrapped with my arms around the roll cage, and he's going down the sides of hills, and he's going down this stuff, and he's doing all this stuff, and I'm just like hanging on like this little monkey, right?
Yeah, and the
Oh
tracks are
my,
running right underneath you, right? Like these big tracks for grazers or whatever.
yes. This thing was like the biggest one they made. um
Oh,
anyway, so it was like, God, I don't know how many miles I hiked, like 3 miles or something. But anyway, it took us forever with that caterpillar to get back into where that scout was. And my cat just looking at me, he's like, where did you come from with that bulldozer? And like, you wouldn't even believe the story. Let me tell you, dude. I can't believe, I look back on this, like, he sends this girl out by herself in the wilderness with just a flashlight where there's, bears and mountain lions and all this stuff.
yeah.
Anyway, it was just like this crazy stories. That was all on one fire. That was on
Jeez.
one fire.
You write a
Yeah,
book
I
just
just,
on all that stuff,
it
Like,
was, it was insane. And then I spent my days off. I had nowhere to go. I was completely homeless on my days off. And so I went up to this lookout tower and hung out at this lookout tower with this lookout. And I learned how to
oh,
be a
cool.
lookout.
That's so cool. But the
Those are
view
my
was amazing.
weekends.
Yeah. Dang. Did you have to hike to the lookout or could you drive?
I could drive all the way up to that baby in my Plymouth
Oh,
Valiant.
in the valley?
in
Oh,
my
that's
Plymouth,
awesome.
in my Plymouth Valiant, man. Thank God.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
because
Tough car.
yeah, the couple of weekends, my first couple of weekends, I was camping. I didn't know what to do because I had nowhere to go. It was too far to go home, and
Yeah.
so I would just load up my backpack and I would just camp and camp. And I thought, what about this gal, this lookout that I always hear on the radio? What was she's about? Let me go up there and visit her.
Oh, that's cool. Man,
So
that's
I just
cool.
showed up. She had no idea I was coming. And I just showed up, and man, she's just come on in, I'll teach you how to be a lookout. And that was my weekend getaway.
Oh, that's cool,
It was
man.
fun.
And some of the best views and great company,
Uh,
and she probably appreciated having some company up there, I
oh
imagine.
my God. Yeah, this poor woman was starved because back in the old days, you didn't have cell phones, you didn't have internet. People now are on I follow a couple of lookout um, um, Instagrams that, they're all doing their stories, this is what I did today at the lookout. Well, back in those days, you were just up at that lookout. You had nobody to talk to but the radio. And
Yeah, totally.
it was only for official business.
Yeah, so just hanging out with you and your thoughts and looking out for smoke.
That's it. That's
Man,
it.
the only way I could do it, I think, is if I had some inspiration to write a novel or a series of novels, maybe, like
Yeah.
otherwise I don't think I'd have, I don't know, I could get into whittling, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to have a hobby. I'd have to have something to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think I'd last.
This one gal, I follow her. She's up at a lookout in outside of Helena, I think Montana.
Oh, yeah.
Bear Trap Lookout. Are you familiar with that one?
Yeah, I
It's
think that one
way
might
up
be in
in the
the
bog.
Bob. Yep. Just
And
outside of Helena. Yep.
there's like she has to have a mule train bring her all her stuff, even her water, every 3 weeks. I'm like, oh, that's too remote, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's
And
that's
uh,
crazy.
yeah, and I think it's Lookout Lindquist gal, and yeah, she's awesome, and she's done a
Yes.
lot of amazing things. Yeah, like she
Yeah,
did
she's up
some.
at that bear trap. She tries to keep it all secret, but I know exactly where she is.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think quite a few people do. Especially, I
Yeah.
mean, like you said, the photos and the panoramic is kind of a giveaway.
Oh
But
yeah.
she's got like a
Well,
goat that's
she's got a big 14 on the roof of her thing. Pretty
yeah,
identifiable. But
yeah, hundred
yeah,
percent.
but man, every 3 weeks just to have to rely on a mule train to bring your water and oh God.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you've found the Idaho Fire Lookout folks who they do a bunch of stuff for lookouts and raise money to fix up lookouts, and
Oh,
they're
that's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, Billy and Cat are their names, and they got a great page on Instagram as well, and they did this thing like reach out to lookouts, like send us your best photos from the porta potty or from the shitter. And they all went around. That Lookout Lindquist, she sent one, and hers is like this tiny little box, like in the rocks, like nothing, no protection, no walls, nothing, just like stuff in the rocks. It's like, man, that's some hard
That's
living up
hard.
that way.
That's hardcore. That is hardcore. Yeah, she's like on this little rock pinnacle, like an eagle's nest. That's nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah, the lookout I worked at, it was you could drive all the way up. I mean, it was a long and windy road getting up there, but you could drive your car. You didn't even need four-wheel drive. It was pretty easy.
yeah, that's pretty nice. Was it on stilts or was it sit on the ground?
No, it was on stilts. It was
Oh, nice.
actually it was on stilts, but the whole stilts was covered, so it looked like a big building going up, and then with the cab at the top. But when you open
Yeah.
the big metal doors at the bottom, the first thing you had to do is look for rattlesnakes because in the summertime they all wanted to hang out in there because it was nice and cool and shady and stuff. So the gal up there had a little 22 and she just, scare them off the stairs. She's like, hold on, I gotta make sure there's no snakes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Jeez.
'cause they like to get
That's
in
the
there.
stuff that people don't talk about. My friend at Sula
Mm.
Peak, his name's Sam. He's just down a little south of me here, and it's similar. It's a newer tower. It's like this like kind of design, but it's got an enclosed bottom on it. And same thing though. He's got so many rattlesnakes up there. He has to keep it
Yeah,
mowed and keep a patrol going so he keeps them away.
yeah, yeah. And this particular lookout, South Fork Lookout, it was just above Redding, California, overlooked the whole city of Redding, and then you could see over to Lassen, Mount Shasta, I mean, and Whiskey Town in the back. It was just unbelievable 360-degree view when it was clear, a lot of
Yeah.
haze in the summertime. But yeah, it's no longer there. It's gone.
Is it? I was
It's
just gonna
gone.
ask because I got
It's
a few
gone.
jumps out
I
of
mean,
Reading
they
back in
even mowed it
13.
down. What's that?
That's so sad. I got a few jumps out of there back in 2013 in Reading, and so and a few more flights, and yeah, I was wondering, I'm like, man, I wonder if I flew over it, maybe the spot, but if there wasn't a tower there, you wouldn't really, no one would really pick it up.
Yeah,
That's sad.
I think it was in the 80s, possibly, that they took it out. When I wrote my book, I did a lot of public records requests from the state of California, asking lots of questions about, stats, lookouts, they supplied me with a plethora of statistics from that season that I fought fire. It was insane. I
That
got to
is
see all the
cool.
I got to see all the calls we went on, because over the years your memory just kind of gets still fuzzy, but you think you remember something. And you're like, God, did that really happen? Or did I dream that? But
No, totally.
when I started getting these stats, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, it really did happen. And how many fires we went on, and how many you know, unable to locate, we few of those. And because I talked about some of those, and I'm thinking, yeah, here are the stats, prove my
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, totally. No, that's great. And
Yeah, it's
yeah, it's a good
cool.
thing you went back because
And
I've had,
and there were
I had the
only
same thing.
26 girls in the whole state that summer. 26 of us. That's it
Jeez.
for the
Were you guys like
California.
were you guys the first wave of girls?
Yep. So that's what our patch looked like
Oh, that's
back in the
cool.
day. Okay. So that's what it was the Department of Forestry. Um, but now you probably know it as,
Cal Fire. Yeah,
yep.
yes, ma'am. Yeah. It sounded like it's a better deal when it became Cal Fire. Everyone got a little boost in pay and stuff and a little better equipment, it sounded like.
Well, back in the day, we did not get hazard pay nor overtime.
Oh.
No, Forest Service did. And
Oh.
I was starting to rethink my choices after I got in with, the Department of Forestry, because I was talking to these Forest Service guys out on the, fires, and they're like, oh yeah, we get hazard pay, we get overtime, we get all this stuff plus our base pay. Yeah, we got none of that. We got our base pay. You want to know what that was?
What was it?
500 $500 a month.
Oh, no matter what hours you put in.
Yeah. And that
Oh,
was, you got your room and board, got fed, but it was $500 a month. Yeah. And 2 days off. And that is if you're
jeez.
not on a fire.
Yeah, then you probably don't get your 2 days off, right?
No,
Oh man. So did you have a cook on the compound then? Like a mess
no.
hall?
We
Oh
all,
no.
we all had to take turns cooking. And
Oh.
because I was the only girl, I was expected to be a master chef, but surprise, surprise to them, I did not know how to cook at
Yeah.
all. I could barely fry an egg.
We're in the same boat when I first got in the Forest Service. I was the same way, like I'm not much better now, but at least I try a few things.
And then I had to cook for all these people, and I'm like, oh my God. So you go into this kitchen and they've got giant cans of this and big giant boxes of this, and I just try to wing it, throw it all together.
Yeah, yeah. See what sounds good. Well, you must have done all right though, because they didn't kick you out of the kitchen, it
Oh,
sounds
those
like.
dudes would eat anything. They
Yeah,
weren't
yeah.
picky. They were
Yeah,
always
fire.
hungry.
Yeah, I say most fire folks are pretty simple. Like you said, you build such an appetite that
Yeah,
whatever's in front of you. I mean,
yeah,
MREs, not good.
yeah. So, but I went
So,
back to that state real quick. I went back to that station
yeah.
in 2016, and I hadn't stepped foot on that station since I had left in 1978. And they had just since did a whole remodel. They took down the barracks. It's like I got to talk to
Um,
the guys. I gave them a copy of my book and stuff, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe they all have their own rooms. They all
oh,
have big screen TVs, and all. Oh my God. Yeah,
yeah. Dang, and
yeah,
it's still Cal Fire up there now.
yeah. Still Cal Fire.
Dang. Man, yeah, it's changed quite a bit. And so, when it was just you and 25 other women, you said 26 total.
Yep.
Was that the first
All
year
No,
women
it
were
wasn't.
ever
It
in?
was no, it was the second year, third year. No,
Oh,
it's the third year.
30.
It was
Oh,
the
gotcha.
third year. But the first couple of years, nobody, only a couple of women applied. That was it. It was a
Dang.
trip. Yeah. They
Yeah.
really had a hard time getting anybody to apply. So I think the season that I applied, they did a big mass push with flyers at college campuses, and they really did a big PR campaign. Caught
Yeah.
my attention. Yeah. So
Oh, it's
it was,
awesome. And I've been fortunate to work with some really awesome gals over the years, some badass chicks. And what I always really enjoyed though is like I was never worried about like the output or whatever, like you kind of mentioned earlier, it never worried about any of that stuff. Like luckily like nowadays no one really thinks about that too much, I don't think. But what I appreciate the most though was that I know how my like kind of dumb brain works, like maybe more of a male brain, I guess, in some sense. So like what I think is funny and whatever witty is like, so if I hear someone else say it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's hilarious, like another guy. But then a girl having the girl point of view on a fire was like would just crack me up. It just killed me because like I got to work with some super funny gals. Like a shout out to my friend Tina, and like we'd be like this built kind of like you, just tiny little thing. Like I was always trying to get her to go smoke jump, and she's like, I'd have to wear lead underwear because I don't weigh enough. Because the limit for smoke jumping is 120 pounds, and
Oh
she's like
yeah.
the same height, built just like you, just athletic and tough as nails. But like when something would happen, like she just had the funniest sense of humor and just like a different point of view than like the other dudes around me. And I was like, oh, I always love working with her. It's just hilarious.
That's funny, man. Um, yeah, interesting enough, out of 26 girls, when I when I published the book, it was just went into publishing. I got the names of all the 26 girls. The state supplied me with the names of these women.
That's
And
awesome.
so I found out one of the women was working 4 floors beneath me when I was working for the state as a PR person. She was 4 floors down below me, and I had no idea
Oh,
that she was one of the 26. I knew who she was, but I had no idea she was one of the 26. So flew down those stairs. I'm like, "Oh my God, you worked for CDF back in the day." And anyway, she's like, yeah, 1978. I said, do you have pictures? I want your story. I've got to include you in my book. I got to include your story in my book. I will pull it out of publication just to include your story. So that was wild that
that is wild.
I was working in the same building as one of the 26.
Oh, it's so cool. And it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it still is a small world, like the fire world. It's
Yeah.
it's cool how like things kind of cycle back together. What was the name of your book again?
Fire girl.
Fire Girl. Oh, that's a great cover. Love the title.
And this is what I looked like.
Back in the day.
I looked like a, can you see me?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can
I
see
look
you.
like a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah, well, we looked about the same then when I first started. I was a late bloomer too. Oh man, I was pretty small guy coming out of high school. So
Yeah. Yeah, it was a trip, but I tell people, I tell like the young people, I said, do something really hard, really, really hard right out of the gate. And I'll tell you what, the rest of your life is going to be a piece of cake because you're going to have shitty bosses. You're going to have shitty coworkers. You're going to have shit happen to you all the time. But unless you've experienced something that almost killed you, it's, it's all bullshit. It's all nothing.
yeah,
It's like water off a duck's back. And,
yeah.
and,
See,
and that's that's how I always looked at it,
that's a
just
great point of view, Jan.
yeah,
Like
do something
I-
really hard.
I've had this conversation quite a bit with some folks, and there was four of us that came out of Whitehall around the same time that were smoke jumpers, and one of my friends did the math, and he said we at one point Whitehall, Montana, this tiny little spot, had up to like right around 1% of the whole jumper population, with just being four of us because there's not that many jumpers. And but then we got on a different tangent or just a different thread, and it was what you just mentioned there about doing something really hard. Like when I first got done with smoke jumping and rookie training, and my first year of smoke jumping, I just had this weird like that like nothing could phase me. That's that same attitude because like you said, you almost died. You did something super hard that not too many females had done, before you. Like that's a huge accomplishment. And after that, I think, like you said, everything's just kind of easy from all that. And I've been having a hard time putting into words, but you summed it up greatly there.
Yeah, people. I've been in management. People go, oh, they gripe about the stupidest things. I go, Did it almost kill you? Did you almost lose your life?
Yeah,
Shut
yeah,
up.
totally. Yeah,
Shut up. I
yeah,
mean, people that go to the military, I mean, whatever it is, and it's hard stuff, right out when you're 18 years old and your brain is still developing, and you're still trying to figure it out, you know, and you're looking for leadership, and you find sometimes there's not good leadership, you
yeah,
know, and then now you know what good leadership is supposed to be. You take these things along with you your whole entire life. I mean, the guys that took us into that burnover incident, that was pretty shitty leadership. That
awful.
was poor decision making, right? And so
100%.
you take these experiences with you, and you incorporate them in your everyday life, your everyday work, jobs, whatever your job may be. I really
Yeah.
do. I
Yeah.
mean, it was just that little moment in time in my 18-year-old world that completely formed who I was going to be the rest of my life.
Yeah,
Isn't that a
totally.
trip?
And it's such a trip. And I imagine like whatever, I listed off a ton of amazing things you've done. And I imagine every new chapter of your book that you started, like in life, like your book of life, right? Like your
Right.
story. It probably wasn't as intimidating because you'd already done some hard shit. Like you said, almost died. Like you, and just point about that. Like, did it kill you? When I was in fire, there, people be complaining. And this was a couple years ago. Well, it's been a while now. I mean, this could have been like back at 16, but like if something bad happened to somebody, they'd be like, but did you die? No, like you're fine. You know?
Yeah, totally. So I God, I lost my train of thought, but yeah,
I was gonna, I
I
was gonna
went
start.
into when I went into the music business
That's what I was
hard,
gonna ask you.
hard,
Yes,
hard, hard, hard. I went into radio hard, 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 hard. The toughest industries that you can even think about being in. Did
still
it scare
competitive.
me? Yeah, so competitive. Man, it was totally still male dominated industries. Did it scare me? No, because it didn't kill me.
Yeah,
It
100%.
wasn't going to
What?
kill me, right?
Yes, man. Well, and I appreciate you paving the way for folks. Because it's like I think it makes it, like the struggles you went through and the challenges you took on, like you said, these male dominated fields that just like someone had put this to me a long time, or maybe I was just thinking about it. It's like when being a man, like you see people like, oh, there's a dude on the moon. There's a male smoke jumper I ran to. There's a male repeller. So I can see myself in those shoes. But for a female, maybe someone told me this a long time ago. It's like if you don't see someone doing what you want to do, you don't really think about it, right? Like you don't aim there. You're like, oh, I don't, like say like you want to go into physics or something, but you never meet a female, you know, uh PhD in physics or whatever it might be, right? Like, so having folks like you went out and did it and, took on the challenge, then the next up and coming females are like, oh yeah, well, Jan was there. Jan did this, like I could do it. Why not me? Like, it's a lot easier to do that. Why not me? Versus if no one who looks like you, or is a female has done it before, right? At least that's
Right.
the way I look at it.
And people of color too. I gave
Yeah.
trick riding lessons to an African American gal, and she told me she was a firefighter for the Forest Service. I'm like, are you kidding me? I said, girl, are you the only black girl out there? And she goes, heck yeah. I mean, seriously, I mean, you have people of color that don't have anybody that, especially female of
No,
color,
yeah.
they have,
Yeah.
there's nobody out there to say, what got you into that, And she's like, oh, it was challenging. And she actually became a stunt woman and, you know, just did all these crazy hard jobs. But yeah, she was out there cutting line as an 18-year-old, black female. And you did not see black female, especially back in the day.
Oh yeah, I
I
bet.
don't
Yeah.
even remember seeing anybody really of color unless they were on a con crew.
Yeah.
Because it was just, I don't know what it was back in the day, but it's really good to see like everybody, like, Native American, total Native American crews. I just love that. You're seeing more girls of all different ethnicities. Um, I've seen girls come out of con crews that became leaders, high ranking officials in the Forest Service. And they started out as on a con crew.
Yeah. That's a great stepping stone, right?
As a matter of fact, one of the gals that I became friends with, I met her at the Wildland Firefighter Foundation fundraiser one time. She was hosting it, and she was in charge of the aviation, something to do with aviation there at McClellan Field in California. And she asked me about writing a book, and she told me she was on a con crew in Chino. I said, are you fucking kidding me? And she goes, yeah, that's how I got my start. And she was like way up there in the Forest Service. She got her pilot's license. She got her bachelor's degree. It's like, I love those stories.
Me
God, I
too.
love
It's
those.
so
I
inspirational. There's no
love those
limit,
stories.
right?
There's no limit. There's
except for the
no
ones you put on
limit.
yourself. You know, like you let anyone else
Yeah,
tell you what you can't do, and it's over. Like you might as well throw in the towel if you let someone else say that you can't do something because of whatever, right? Like not
right.
smart enough, the way you look, the size of you, like then it's over, right? And
Yeah.
and also fire doesn't care, right? Fire don't care what you look like, you
Fire
know?
does not care. Everybody's just as dirty as the next guy.
Yeah, totally. We all smell and look the same after a few days,
Yep.
anyways. You know,
Yep.
it's like
Yep.
can you pull your weight? That's all that people care about,
Right.
you know?
Right. Right. And then
And
I met Jen Balitz, who's she wrote the forward to my book. Former smoke jumper. Her husband Mark is a current smoke jumper,
yeah,
and I became a trick writer, like you said, in my 40s, and I was given trick writing lessons. And I actually flew to South Dakota a couple of times, was giving her trick writing lessons, and I had no idea that she was a firefighter when I went there. And I just happened in
yeah.
conversation, told her about, and she's like, I used to be a smoke jumper. Like, are you kidding me? That is
Yeah,
awesome.
and she's unassuming too, because she's probably about your size, right?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. Cute little blonde girl. You'd never know that she was
Yeah,
jumping at airplanes, fighting fires.
yeah, totally. And the only reason why, like, I would know, I guess, is because of just being around a few fire chicks these days, or quite a few fire chicks now in my life. And like, she's wearing, I think like a tank top. When I first had met her, I met her a long time ago. So I jumped with her husband Mark out of when I was
Uh-huh.
jumping out of West Yellowstone. But when I saw her at 13 Crosses world premiere for the Man Gulch movie, she came up and introduced herself to my wife, and then we started talking, and she said she was. I was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I know your husband well. But she's like, even now, she's still ripped. And you're like,
Oh
yeah, that
yeah.
checks out. You're a smoke jumper because she looks like she could do it today if she wanted to.
She could totally could. You should see her trick ride. Oh my
Oh, I
God. She
bet.
was one of my star students, man. I mean, fearless, fearless. I tell like, hey, we're gonna do this trick. I show her one time and boom, she's ready for the rodeo.
Oh,
She's ready
yeah.
to
I was,
perform.
I was gonna say just like fearless, and then just strong as hell because like pound for pound, right? Like people built like you who are doing the pack test, who are doing half their body weight. That's way more than me because I'm closer to 200 pounds, and so it's not, is it maybe a quarter, not even a quarter? Yeah, I don't know, a quarter of my weight, maybe, I guess at that point, less than quarter of my weight. So it's not that comparably, it's not that much for me. But like for gals like you and her, I mean, that's like you said, half your body weight. Like that's super
But
impressive.
yeah,
That's a lot of strength.
and we had to pack these metal back pumps. We called them piss pumps back in the day. Did you know about these things? They
We
were
still got them, but they're not
they're
metal. They're all like a blurry thing. It
oh
still
yeah,
sucks.
these were metal cans,
Oh, I've
and
seen them.
they rode on the back of the truck, and we'd have to full of water. I don't know what those things weighed, but oh my God, they cut into you, and everywhere they could cut into you because
Yep.
they're just a big metal can full of water with these canvas straps. And then they would throw us out of the truck and say, hold this line. As you're standing there with this little piss pump looking at this 100-foot tree on fire, you're like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing with it?
Oh, I've always hated them. Yeah, they suck.
Oh my God. They were just worthless. They
They
were
are, yeah.
worthless. They were worthless on a grass fire. They're definitely worthless at a forest fire. It's like, what are you doing with this thing? But
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, I had to carry that thing around, and man, it was hard. It was really, really hard. And
it's
the
exactly
axe,
just
I mean, just wielding an axe. Heck, that axe was like 30 pounds.
yeah,
A brush
totally.
hook, brush hook and axe. I mean, those are heavy equipment. That was heavy equipment for me.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%. Yeah.
and back then, I don't know what the deal was, but we did not have a chainsaw. We did not operate
Oh,
chainsaws. It was all
oh,
hand tools. That was it.
jeez.
Yeah.
Holy cow! Talk about
We
building
did
some
not
character.
we did not have a chain. We did not. I think I don't know if it was a liability and they didn't want to train us on chainsaw because we were on a pumper crew. But
Oh,
yeah, it was all hand tools.
that's awful. Man.
Oh, you want to see
And
something cool?
yes, I do always. I was just gonna ask about your boots.
My original ones. These are it.
Awesome. They're still in pretty good
The
shape.
1978. I think I've got let's see, one of them has oh yeah, it's like a little scar right there where I hit it with an axe.
Oh yeah, been there. Yeah, I
um,
took a chunk out
but
of
the,
mine.
but these are Red Wings. And I remember they cost me $80, and back in 1978, that was like a whole month's pay when I was working as, working at my little minimum wage job, Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's cool.
I held on to these suckers all these years.
Man, that is
It was
cool.
like I couldn't give them up. They moved around with me all these years in different places, and I said, man, they just held something so significant in my life. These boots,
Yes.
you know
It,
what I mean? It
well,
was like,
yeah, 100%. Because I pick up my old fire boots, like memories come back, right? I'm like,
yeah,
oh, when I had these ones, it was this timeline.
yeah. And they're heavy too.
Oh man,
I don't even
some
know what
thick
they were
fiber.
now. Red Wings were the deal back then. I know whites became very popular, and so
Yeah, yeah. There's quite a few companies now, but yeah, even my first were Red Wings, and they were a very basic boot. Like mine, probably weren't really meant for fighting fire, but they ticked all the boxes, and
yeah,
I blew the heel off them within like the first year. So then I went to Nick's my second year, and then slowly started
right.
progressing to different boots.
Yeah, they weren't
So
steel toed or anything. They were just really heavy duty leather boots. That's all.
yeah, same, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well then, so when the music thing, were you playing music the whole time, like
I was a
already in
music
life?
I was a music major. I started playing in bands when
Oh,
I was 16 years old. And I was a music major in college. And I played classical guitar and I played different instruments and I sang. And so yeah, I was always going to be in music. I was going to be a professional musician at some point or another. This little firefighting thing was just like a summer job, right? That,
yeah, yeah.
became it defined my life, but it was just a summer job, right? And so, but my main focus was being a professional musician,
Oh,
and so yeah, that's what I did for many years. I toured with different bands, my own bands, all over the place, and and then ended up in Los Angeles. I was trying to get a record deal there, and then I ended up meeting somebody who was related to James Brown, who got me the gig to open up for his big Grammy party that he had in LA every year.
oh,
And so,
whoa,
yeah, and so, but yeah, I opened up for other people over the years. It was yeah, it was just a quite a journey
man,
as a professional musician. And then
that's a
something
trip.
tragic happened. I turned 30 and I wasn't
Oh,
getting a record deal. It was tragic.
oh no, is that like the cutoff? Like you hit
I
30,
know,
it's
it's
like
like I'm washed up, man. I'm washed up. I'm 30. And so
oh,
I was living in Los Angeles and it just wasn't happening for me trying to get a record deal. And anyway, I went to broadcasting school, and that's how I
oh,
got into radio. I thought, well, it's still the music business, but I'm just like spinning the records and not playing not singing. But
yeah,
I still played in bands over the years and stuff. But I needed a job. I needed a career that was actually
yeah.
going to pay my bills, and so I ended up in broadcasting. And I worked up and down the valley, California. Ended up in Sacramento, and then my last um, several years was working as a traffic reporter full time, and I was reporting the traffic for various radio stations. But I did it in the backseat of a Piper Cherokee airplane.
Whoa, no way. That is cool.
Yeah. So twice a day, I would get up in the morning. I'd head to the airport. My pilot he was also a traffic reporter, but he owned the plane. But he did traffic reporting for a bunch of stations, and I did traffic reporting for a bunch of stations. The reason I had to sit in the back seat is because I had all my radio gear beside me, because I had all kinds of radio stations that I had to do traffic reports for live, that I was constantly waiting for them to come to me on the radio and this and that. And I also had to report the traffic to my base down on the ground so they could know what's going on for those people that are reporting traffic from down on the ground. So yeah, it was a very busy job. So I did that mornings and afternoons, and I did that for several years.
Man.
And my pilot was an old Vietnam pilot, and man, that dude
Oh,
was awesome.
I
He was
bet.
awesome. Yeah,
Man, in no better hands. I know, like when I've gotten a chance to,
exactly.
yeah, fly with or get a ride from a helicopter pilot who's from Vietnam when I was first starting
Yeah.
out. Like, whew, they were the best.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
never was worried about those guys.
Nope.
Um,
Nope.
so when you're in the back seat, And are you connected to the radio station? And they're just like, and then you can hear them go like, and now to Jan and
Yep.
the
And then I'm live
ah
on the air. And I had like 5 or 6 radio stations, and I had to keep my call letters in front of me because because it was always so, this station and then the next station and the next station. I had to know what my out cue was going to be and what station I was on.
oh yeah, back to KMBR,
Oh yeah, it's
right?
like I was like, this is whatever my fake name was at the time. I'd have to give
Oh,
out those call letters and not mess them up.
oh yeah. Did you
But
have
yeah,
just
it
one
was.
name or did you have multiple names?
I had multiple names because they're competitive radio stations that were just
Oh,
using, you know, I couldn't be the same person on one station, so I had to keep my name straight, and it was a nightmare, but it was
yeah.
fun. It
And a
was fun.
Brittany in the Sky or something like that, or was it like
Yeah,
that?
crazy. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
Right.
Man.
But that was fun. I did that for many years. And then I decided that I need a real job because even radio is a job and it's somewhat of a real job, but then I need one with a pension. So
Oh yeah, gotta
I
get the
went to,
retirement.
yeah, so I went to back to work for the state of California, and I took my media um, credentials, and now I'm a media spokesperson for several
Oh,
different state agencies. So I was a PR person where I was the person with the in front of the news camera, having to,
you were?
yeah. And so
Oh,
my last 7 years was with the California Department of Motor Vehicles. And so I was their media spokesperson.
oh, cool.
Yeah. And
And
that's how I
are you
retired.
fully retired now or are you still
I
working?
am. And I got the pension.
Congrats, that's
Thank
huge.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Fully
mean,
retired. Husband's fully retired. And when the husband finally became fully retired, we moved to New Mexico. And so that's
oh,
where we are
very
now.
cool.
Yeah. We love it
Very
here.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it then your intro that I did, you're talking about hiking around. I mean, geez, like New Mexico, it's got some of those beautiful places and it's very
Yeah.
underrated because most people,
So diverse.
yes, like I started in the Gila and then I went to, I'm trying to think where it was, but it was like somewhere just south where you're at on a fire. I can't remember the name of it. I want to say like Whitewater Baldy Complex, but I don't know.
I know
Is that like,
there were a few fires in the Gila last summer. Was that this summer?
no, that was back in, let me give a timeline. I think it's back in 2012, possibly.
Oh,
When I
that's
was
a long
down in the
time ago.
Whitewater Baldy. I think that's what it was. Super cool though. And like there's this old like western town tucked in the mountains that we were protecting, and
Yeah.
it was awesome. And then before that, I was down just north of Silver City on the Gila and got to see like was it Geronimo, like some of his stomping grounds, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of history here when it comes to Native American culture. Yeah, there's a lot of history here. It's insane. And the geography is just so diverse. I mean, you've got
Oh,
desert, then you've got your mesas, your
yeah.
unbelievable mesas, and then you've got your alpine mountains. We're at the very base of the Sandia Mountains, which is just east of Albuquerque. So here's Albuquerque, and then you've got these big mountains that top out at 10,000 feet. We're just on
Whoa.
the other side of them.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, it's really cool. We're at almost 7,000 feet here,
Jeez.
and people don't
That's
realize,
awesome.
yeah, people don't realize it's like, oh, New Mexico is just all flat desert. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It is high altitude. It is everything. I mean, hour away from our house, we're up in the Sangre de Cristos, which is the tail end of the Rockies, and they top out at like 14,000 feet. I mean, it's huge, huge
That's nuts.
mountains here.
Yeah, which is, I'm just south of Missoula, in Montana with the Rockies over this way to me and the Bitterroots. And I think the highest peak is like 10,000, 10,000
Yeah.
some change. So it's like you got 13,000. That's
Oh,
quite a
they're
bit bigger than
big.
what we got here,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Big
My brain
mountains.
was the same way though when I first went down there on fire assignment. I was picturing like tumbleweeds and a road runner and a
And we
buffalo
do have
skull just
that
in the middle.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
those
mean,
road
there's
runners are
there's
cool.
really flat areas in New Mexico, but you get up into the northern New Mexico, and it's just all over the place. It's so diverse,
So
so
yeah.
diverse. It's so cool. Very,
Yeah,
very
very
cool.
cool. A lot of jumpers, like my friend Sarah and a few other folks who went down there and fought fire, and I knew quite a few of them who either stayed or had like homes down there, for a little while, because they just enjoyed New Mexico so much.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful here. We like the summers in California. We're getting extremely hot. Um, I mean, it was just 115-degree days, which just, it's starting to be very oppressive in my old age, and I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Here at almost 7,000 feet, we have been getting up into the 90, but it doesn't last very long, and we're back in the 80s. It's so much nicer, really is.
Yeah.
And we have thunderstorms and nice. We don't have that in California. In the summertime, it's dry, not a stitch of rain for 6 months, you know?
Yeah. Well, I was down in Six Rivers at the end of August, I think, back in 2014. And you're over there, like Mad River Ranger District area, Six Rivers. It's kind of near like Fortuna.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I couldn't
I
believe it. I'm
know,
like,
well, I used to rodeo up there.
did you? Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, because man, it's cool. It was a cool country town and country area, but like,
Hmm.
holy cow, was it dry. They were calling it six puddles when I was there because everything was just almost dried
So
up. And
dry.
yeah, I was like, but I could picture it. I was like, man, I bet this place is something in the spring.
Yeah. Yeah. My stomping grounds were the Sierra. I used to hike all up in there, um, and then they'd have these afternoon thunderstorms, but it really was just so dry.
Yeah,
Fires. I mean, the Dixie fire. I don't know if you remember that one. That was just 4 years ago. Oh, it
yeah,
burned like I don't know, millions of acres. Um, a lot of people, a lot of friends I know lost their cabins and homes or whatever.
yeah. Dixie was
But the
nasty.
forest is just so dry in California. It was just bad because I would go hiking and I would just see so many dead trees, so many dead trees,
Yeah, it's
and
nuts.
a
Hey,
lot of undergrowth.
yeah, back when I was in Cali in 2014, I was crew bossing for the Great Northern, and I was a trainee, and we were I'm trying to think of the name of the place. It was just west of Tahoe, McCall Wilderness.
McCollum. Mm-hmm.
McCall yes. Oh
Yeah.
man, beautiful. Like that was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. But we kind of got up on this high knob, and I was looking out. I was tying in with the division, and I actually think it was Helena Hot Shots were there, which was kind of cool because I knew quite a few of those folks, and Fred Thompson used to run the show. But I look out and I could see this just column punching, and it was the King Fire. And I look out and I see another little column, and then there's
Oh,
another
the
little
King
fire, and I'm
Fire.
like,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
we
I
could
was,
see the King Fire from our house. I mean, that's far away. We could see that smoke column. Um, we could see from the ranch that we lived on in Northern California. We lived in a little town of Wheatland, and we had a
oh
ranch
yeah,
out there. And
very
in
cool.
Yuba County, we could see the Paradise. We could see the flames from the Paradise Fire.
Oh man,
That was
nuts, right?
brutal. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
friends actually on that fire. Um, and we could see, yeah, all those fires, the Dixie Fire. I mean, we were just so inundated with smoke that it was just bad. That it was like whole Northern California was on fire. And my husband and I,
Yeah.
and this is a side note, so for about gosh, how 10 years? 10 years we had a water my husband and I bought a 4,000-gallon water tender,
Oh,
and
nice.
so we contracted with Cal Fire and the Forest Service, and my husband was
Yeah.
the operator. I was the operations manager.
Hell yeah.
I
That's
was
awesome.
working my full-time job and running that water truck at the same time. But he was out on a lot of fires, and in 2008, when the whole state of California was on fire, we had all those hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lightning strikes. And I don't
Yeah.
remember how many complexes were going on, but I don't know if you remember that, if you were fighting fire then. But
In 2004
2008,
or 2008. Oh, yeah. That was my first
yeah,
year. Yeah.
okay. We had all those complexes going on, and we're running that water truck, and my husband was just going from fire to fire. But we were so inundated with smoke for months
Yeah.
with
That was
those fires.
bad.
That was really
Yeah.
bad.
And that was like I wasn't in fire much before that, but that's when it felt like to me, just because that was my fire career was like I said, started in 2008. It felt like that was when California like blew up and just has been like on fire ever since. I felt like
Yes,
before then it was
a-
like breaks.
abs- absolutely. It's just every year we were just waiting. Okay, here we go. We got our N95 masks. Hey, we had a box of N95 masks way before COVID
Yeah, you guys are ready already.
because the
Yeah.
smoke was so bad, and I had horses out there living in the smoke. and it was just horrible. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's brutal.
the whole dang state just seems to be on fire all the time.
All the time. Yeah, my brother was going to vet school in Pomona, in Southern Cal, and
Hmm.
my wife was living somewhere just south of San Francisco. I'm trying to remember the town. It was like Dublin or something, I think.
Yeah, Dublin. That's
Yeah, yeah.
Dublin is, yeah, like Bay Area.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly where it was. Yeah, and so I flew in to see her, and I just got done with my fire season back in 2013, and so I flew in to see her for a while, and we, hung out there for a couple days, and went down to see my brother in Pomona, and holy cow, I think he was living in Claremont at the time, but we were just like big fire after big fire on the way down. I was like, man, fire season's supposed to be over, because it ended up by us.
There is no fire season in California.
Yeah,
That Paradise Fire happened the first week in November.
man,
I mean,
that's
back in
nuts.
the day, fire crews were released September, maybe
Yeah,
1st of October,
yeah.
maybe, but mostly September.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? Man.
Yeah. So that was the first week in November when that fire happened. That's when
Yeah,
it's
it's good.
supposed to be. Yeah, that's when winter's supposed to be happening, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to get some moisture, some season-ending events.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not getting the moisture we're used
Yeah.
to, it feels like.
Yeah. And so, yeah, fire crews. So my book, 100% of the proceeds go to the Wildland Firefighter Foundation.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's amazing.
And yeah, and I published this in 2012, and it's still selling, because of the proceeds, and that's um, been very dear to my heart, trying to raise money for that organization, you know,
Yeah,
um,
because you're probably
because
still
it
in the
fires
loop with
burning all the
everything.
time.
Yeah, and people
What's
getting injured and killed still
Yeah,
every season. And
yeah,
and you probably know him pretty well too, Burke Miner from the foundation, the Wildland Firefighter Foundation. And yeah, I interviewed him on here, and we've had a few different conversations since. And the same thread is like, hey man, we're tired of burying him. It's like,
yeah.
during the season, the off season, like all the things. It's like, so I mean, they went from being support mostly like fire season 6 months out of the year ish to being 12 months out of the year support
Hmm.
system, and they're always been there, but now they've been expanding because like the mental health factor, because fire seasons are so busy now. And I don't know. You talk to some older folks, and they said it used to be like that too back in the day. So it's maybe not anything new, but just I don't know. It just feels like we have
Longer.
more fire folks. Yeah,
It's
longer.
just,
That's what it
it's
feels like.
just, it's longer. Yeah, it's just happening more and more. And
Yeah.
like I said, there's just absolutely no season anymore. It's just all year round. And
Yeah.
and
Totally.
globally, what's blowing my mind is France and Spain is on fire. Now it's
Yeah.
a global event, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
hundred
oh, we said
percent. Yeah, and
we,
you can get sent to Europe, you get sent to Australia. A lot of folks were going down there, for a couple of
yeah,
years, and then while I smoke jumping, the jumpers are always going down to Region 8, going down south in the winter to help out with burns, but then you'd be fighting a few fires down there too. So it's like that gets to be real busy, if you're just on
yeah,
fire year round,
yeah.
a little bit of burnout right there.
New Mexico is doing really um they're doing really good in their fire mitigation. They just shut down the Sandia Mountains I was talking about. They
Yeah.
shut down that whole mountain range for 2 years because they're mitigating.
Oh
And I'm like,
wow.
they needed to, because I was up there hiking and I could not believe the amount of deadfall. Oh my God. It was just piles of deadfall
Yeah.
and piles of it. And so they're up there mitigating all of that, and they shut down all the trails, which is kind of a bummer because it's like right behind my back
Yeah.
door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're mitigating all of that. And I'm like, that's good. That's really good. And then up in the Jemez Mountains, I couldn't believe how clear the forests were. You could see in the forest. You
Yeah.
had these old growth ponderosas, you know, but you could see all for a long ways into that forest. In California, that wasn't the case, man. It was so much overgrowth and so much ladder fuel that you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
You couldn't
Well,
see through the forest.
no, and,
Yeah.
and as as you know, it's horrible for fire. Like fire just can
Yeah,
rip through there. No, there's nothing anyone can do about it. And even the wildlife don't want to live there because they can't even get in and out of that area.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So
But
it's bad
here
all around.
they're doing a really good job in mainly the most populated areas where fire would be more prone to happen. I mean, of course, there's lightning strikes in the high country that can't really, they can't do much with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, driving through Jemez Mountains, I just could not believe how pristine the forests were as I was looking on both sides of the road. I'm like, for way, and not just along side of the road, but way in there, way in there. They
Oh,
have
that's
cleared.
awesome.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job.
That's great to hear because that's part of the issue is when we quit logging and then try to leave the forest alone. We've been messing with it too long. So if we don't do anything, like and try to suppress all the fires, you just get that fuel buildup, right? So we
Yeah,
got to do something, right? You said like fuel mitigation or do some burning and all the things to help get it. So like you said, you can see through and you can enjoy. Like if you like some, I was talking to somebody a while back. We were talking about like if you enjoy hiking there and you enjoy being there, one, it's probably less prone to having a big wildfire because, like you said, the lighter fuels are not there, and more wildlife is going to want to be in that area too, and you get this healthier forest, like,
yeah,
and with us, trying to control it for so long. I mean, it goes way back, even like before the agencies, like stories of Native Americans doing burns,
yeah.
to
Because
open
they
up
wanted to
areas.
propagate the grasses and things to grow, because that was part of their, their way of life is getting these grasses to grow so they could weave their baskets and make things and, do things with the forest. Yeah, they kept their forests healthy because it was part of their livelihood to, their
Totally.
way of life to do that. And our forests now have just become completely, and I think with California especially, um, people have now moved into the forest. So now you've got these huge communities, especially around Lake Tahoe. Oh my God, if you were to fly over it, you just see a canopy of trees. But down below that canopy of trees is
Yeah.
neighborhoods of houses. And now they've got to suppress all those fires that start instead of just kind of letting those undergrowth burns. Now the forests have become so inundated with ladder fuel that they become so hot, and that's what happened with the Dixie Fire. That's the first time a fire has actually crested the Sierra and went over to the other side.
Oh wow, I didn't
Isn't
know
that,
that.
yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's so
That's a
crazy.
big ass mountain range.
That's what I was gonna say. That's one big damn mountain to be doing that.
Uh-huh. It crested and then went over the top and went over down on the other side.
Ah, man, that's crazy,
There's
huh?
a really good book. My friend Claire Frank wrote a book called Burnt, and she crawled her way up to second of command to Cal Fire,
Oh,
and she
whoa.
started in the early '80s as just a firefighter. And her book is really really good. I highly recommend that as someone that's worked all these fires, especially all these fires in California.
Yeah, oh, it'd be great. Yeah, I'll have to
Yeah,
check it out. I gotta
Burnt.
get your book too. Burnt.
And you might be able to get her on your show.
That would be awesome. I was just thinking
Yeah,
that. It's like
I
you're
think
reading my mind.
she's into pickleball now.
Oh, really? Yeah, staying
Yeah, you'll
young,
talk about. She wrote a book. She's an author. She wrote a book about pickleball. I just found it. I'm like, really?
Oh, that is
But
awesome.
but yeah, she has a lot to say about the fires in California because she was like in the middle of it and worked, like I said, she was second in command with Cal Fire when she retired.
Jeez. Yeah, I'd love to
And
hear her perspective.
that was just like maybe 3 or 4 years ago she retired. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to hear that because as a smoke jumper, a lot of times you're kind of above it, right? If like fire layers and like Happy
Yeah.
Camp was blowing up, but I didn't have to get involved in Happy Camp because I was on this little fire over by the Plumas. So like we're on these little fires, we don't have to get engaged in these big complexes most of the time. Once in a while, your jumpers get sucked in. I heard like they snagged like 20 jumpers from Reading it like right after I
Mm-hmm.
left.
Yeah.
Um, because they just need some bodies to put some handline in. And I got a little bit when I was with the Great Northern, but being a Type 2 IA crew, we weren't going to engage in too much craziness, like the hot shots
Yeah.
will get called for. So I don't have that view from like a top, you know, like, because I've never even talked to anybody who had been that high up in Cal Fire. So
Right.
it'd be really great to hear like what that looks like, and
Yeah,
you know
and
what she saw.
yeah, I mean, when she's dealing with political stuff, she's dealing with the governor's office, she's dealing with other agencies, she's dealing with a lot, she's got a lot of balls in the air, you know. And then she came from boots on the ground, you know, worked her
Yeah,
way up to that position. It was a really, really good read. Yeah, she's a cool chick.
man.
She read my book a long time ago, and that's what inspired her to write.
Oh, cool. Well, yeah, there's
Yeah,
never too many too, right? Like everyone's got a
yeah.
different experience and a different point of view on it, you know?
So here's another thing, because when I wrote this book, I had nobody to be a mentor in writing a book about my time as a firefighter. Um, when I wrote this in 2012, there were no other books out there. Trust me, I searched for any female firefighters that wrote a book. Um, uh, and the only one that I found was this gal. Her name was Caroline Paul. And she was the first female firefighter for the city of San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
And she did a 20-year stint with them and retired. But get this, her twin sister, identical twin sister, was on Baywatch. Do you remember
Yes.
the
Oh
show
yeah.
from the 80s?
Oh
And
yeah.
they're all,
Hasselhoff.
yes, exactly. And they're all these hot, you know, lifeguards or whatever. Her identical twin sister was one of those lifeguards on that show. So this
Wow.
gal that was a firefighter for the city of San Francisco looked just like her,
Wow.
but she wrote a book, and it was really, really a really good book. And so I reached out to her because I had technical questions. I had questions about, okay, you wrote a lot of shit about some of your crew members, you know, it's like, were you worried about, you know,
Blowback or yeah.
pushback or blowback, or,
Yeah.
you know, calling you out on some of your stuff? She goes, yeah, because she, you know, she wrote it like it was. She didn't leave anything out. And some guys are assholes, and she freaking let it out, right?
Good.
And and so she's like, yeah, there are probably a couple of things I kind of regretted writing, but you know what? It's all the truth. It was all the truth, you know.
Yeah. Wrote a
She goes,
gospel, as they say,
and
right?
she told me, she goes, just write your book. Just write your book. And
Yeah.
I did. I
Good.
changed the names. I, you know, changed the names, changed kind of the identifying factors. But that's all. The rest of the stories are the stories, are my
Smart.
stories. Yeah.
Well, it makes for a better book if you're not tiptoeing around, if you're seeing it how it was, you know, because
Yeah.
then you might, if you're worried about hurting feelings or whatever, you know, it wouldn't be the same story, right?
And the funny thing is, when you write a book like 40 years later, like I did, um, your memories are your memories, and they could be possibly completely different than other people's memories. So far, no one has come out of the woodwork and called me out on my memories. It's been
Yeah,
out there since
totally.
2012. You know, it's always been in the back of my mind, you know.
Yeah, and if they do, fuck them. You know,
That's
like
what I
that's how
kind
I
of
feel
said,
about.
you know. It's like, no, it's like, this is how I remembered it, man. And I didn't leave anything out. I even talked about when I lost the keys to the fire truck.
Yeah, that will happen.
Oh my God. I lost him down this fence post, this hole in this fence post, and they're way down there. And oh my God. Yeah.
At least you knew where they were though. But
Oh my God. And trying to dig those things out. And I felt like an asshole, you know?
yeah, yeah, oh God. Well, we've all been there in
But
some fashion. That's the thing, you
yeah,
know. Well, all of us it makes us human. But I mean, same thing, you know. Like I'm sharing stories that are shit, you know. Like I was a smoke number 13 of my rookie year, so it's been 13 years, you know. So it's like I don't know, it's not that fresh in my brain. If I mess something up, whatever, you know. Like
yeah,
because I have that once in a while too, and I'm trying to like relive a fire, you know. Like even the one I was talking about the McCall me or whatever, you know.
yeah,
It like it might have been different from someone else's point of view, but that's like you said, that's how I remember it. That's how you remember it. So
yeah.
that's the
People
way it
have
is.
different, people remember things differently. And yeah, these are my memories, and I wrote them down. And if they don't jive with your memories, it's tough shit, man.
Yeah, 100%. Write your own damn book, right?
That's
Or get your own podcast.
exactly. Write
Yeah,
your own damn book.
yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about it too. You know, because you know,
Yeah.
like people are always trying to like call other people out for whatever. You know, it's like whatever. You know, like write your own book if
Yeah.
you got a different opinion.
So what are you doing for the Forest Service now?
Right now I'm a partnership coordinator, so I just got done work with the military. So I got on a fire, primary fire, like 3 years ago. But I just put in for a position at NTDP, which is the National Development and Technology Program, which used to be MTDC, which was Montana Technology and Development Center out of Missoula. So like that the aerial fire depot, and I'm gonna mess this up, but you have the hangar that has like the jump planes, the helicopter, and Missoula Helitack or Lowell Helitack, and then right next to that's weather service, NOAA, I believe, and then next to them is the jump base and the Missoula Smoke Jumpers, and I'm
Hmm.
going west, I guess, as you're going through campus, and right across the streets a dispatch. I think it's a National Dispatch Center, and then across the street from the jump base. But if you keep staying on the same side of the road, you get to the smoke jumper dorm, the fire cache on the other side, there's the fire lab, and then MTDC's on the far end of it. And it's the R&D department for wildland fire, I guess. I don't think it's just like Forest Service. So um might be getting a position with them. So back to doing more fire stuff, and sounds like helping out with some of the personal protective equipment R&D stuff. So
So
um
this is still with the Forest Service, though, right?
still with Forest Service,
Yeah.
yep. Still with
Yeah.
Forest Service, and just getting to kind of do stuff that is more of my more of what I want to do, I guess, and more of
Yeah.
my experience. Because like
So
right now,
you'll get a pension at the end, huh?
yeah. Because I'm still in the Forest Service. I've been in since '08. So
Nice.
tickling 20 years. And problem is though, like most people my age, I think like almost more than half of it is seasonal time. So with before I was actually a permanent employee and getting a pension. So
Oh,
I got a
right,
little
right, right.
I got a little ways to go, but it's
Yeah.
it's been a good ride.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's
Yeah, it's been a
good.
great experience. Well, Jan, thanks
Yeah.
for joining me. I won't keep much longer. I mean, I'm actually holding myself back because I was gonna dive into some of the other stuff, especially the trick riding, because my
Go
family's
for it.
rodeo. Well, I was gonna maybe save it for round two if you'd be up for it.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, let's do
So I
round
saw
two.
so I saw
Oh, good.
your brother was in rodeo. What did he do?
Yeah, he's a professional bullfighter. He's in his last season, so I named that episode "Final Go Round" because he's
Nice.
hanging up the boots after this year.
Oh man, that's tough business, man. Being on the horned
Woof.
end of the freaking bull.
Yeah, he's been put in the hospital a few times.
I don't know.
Like
I don't know if I'd rather be on the bull or be in front of the bull. I don't know. That both of them is bad news.
yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, we kind of got into that a little bit. I'm with you. Like I don't know. I mean, if you're
Man.
riding, I guess you're kind of stuck there because your hands wedged in, but like it's only for 8 seconds ish. But for
Yeah.
the bullfighter, it's however many bulls you got in the pen.
That's nuts. That's
Yeah, tougher than I
nuts.
am. I don't
That's
think I'm
awesome.
fast enough for it. Like I'm pretty fast, but like he's a lot faster than I am. So
He's hanging it up, huh?
yeah, I think it's time for something new to do, and he doesn't want to do it until the wheels fall off. He doesn't want to be
Right.
like slowly work and you know how the
Because
attrition
that's
goes,
when
and
you will get hurt if you age out and you start getting slower and yeah, and that bull will
yeah,
get you.
totally, and you kind of lose the respect to some of your peers too. They're like, geez, man, that guy probably should have hung it up years ago, and if you just
Oh
keep
yeah, yeah,
hanging
yeah.
on, and
Yeah, yeah.
and then the quality of rodeos go down, right? Like he's doing PRCAs and PBRs right now. The biggest rodeos, some of the biggest rodeos in the Northwest, and then eventually you start getting phased out. Then
Yeah.
probably doing like a high school rodeo, and
Yeah.
before you realize,
Ranch rodeos. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah, helping out with the Brandon or something, like you're
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
maybe I should hang this up, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
and we play hockey together and a bunch of other stuff. So he's starting to, go into different paths, like, and I think he said in the podcast, it's time for his kids, so he's going to put his kids up on the priority and start chasing them around with
And
sports.
tell me about your oh my God, your little trailer, your Airstream. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh my God.
Nice.
I was telling my husband, I said, he's got this little Airstream trailer. He does his podcast. I wish I was in this. I wish I was there and doing it in his trailer. That'd be fun.
Oh, me too. Yeah. It's a 1965 Airstream. I haven't really changed anything. It's pretty much stock. My great grandfather bought it brand new in Missoula back in
I love,
65. And
I love you
it,
doing your podcast in there. That's awesome.
yeah, it's awesome. 22-foot Safari, and it makes it easy because like at first everything was in a backpack. So like I'd hike up to a lookout or drive somewhere and do it. And it was just getting hard to find like a place to
Yeah.
actually set up, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so the Airstream was just sitting out at my folks' place, just pretty much as a shed. So I got it. My dad helped me kind of clean it out, and then I just kept fixing it up and polishing it, and it's been great. And So yeah, I mean, it makes it just so much easier. I can do it wherever now, you know, I can just kind of set up it on the fly.
Oh, that's
One of
cool.
these,
So you could tow it around and just do your podcast.
yeah, totally. So yeah, one of these days I'll have to come down and visit you because that's the plan. Like
Oh
when
my
this thing
God, that
finally
would be
starts
awesome.
taking
Now I
off.
got room for you here.
Oh, it'd be great. Yeah, come see you. And that's another thing I can stay in it too. So it's also
That's
like my little
awesome.
hunting camp and little family camper as well, you know?
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, anytime. Come on down to New Mexico.
Oh, I'd love it. Yeah, it'd be
It's
great.
chili roasting season right now.
Wait, say is what?
It's chili roasting season right now.
Oh, it is. Hey, I
Yeah,
didn't know.
yeah.
So you gotta let them
Yeah.
dry on your porch for a while and then you roast them. Is that how it
I
works?
guess. I don't know. It was just on the news. They're starting to roast the chilies. That's a big thing. We're kind of new here.
Oh,
We've only been here just a little over a year. So we're still
oh,
kind of learning all the stuff about New Mexico, but it's such a cultural, it's so rich in culture here, that
yeah,
we're learning
and
about the
probably.
chilies.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably cool culture and a little bit of the cowboy culture. Imagine. So you guys probably fit
Totally
right in.
everything. Yeah, we got huge Native American uh, culture here because we have Navajo Nation here. We have
Yeah,
the 19 Pueblos here. The Apache are here. The gosh, who else? I mean, yeah, a lot of Native American culture, which is super cool. I just love that.
oh,
Love
me
it.
too. Love the storyline. I love a lot of the origin stories.
Yeah.
Was it like I think it's the Hopi they were talking about the human race coming out, at least their people coming out of a kiva on top of a mesa or something like
Yeah,
that. Was the origin story?
they all have their origin stories. Some of them come out of the ground, some of them come up from the sky, but they all have their really cool origin stories. It's yeah, pretty
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
it's so cool. And
Hmm.
then geez, I was gonna tie something on that with the cowboy culture down there, but yeah, I mean, oh, that's what it was. Have you seen the movie 8 Seconds?
Yes,
Or not?
long
No,
time
sorry, not
ago.
8 Seconds. My bad. Wrong movie. But me and my
I
brother were talking about that. Cowboy Way is what I was thinking of.
Oh
Have you
my
seen that
God,
movie?
that's my husband's favorite movie.
So good. Is that are they in New Mexico? Is that where they are? Like suppose
Possibly
like
because they film a lot of stuff here. This is like New Mexico. They film a lot of stuff here. TV net. We have a huge Netflix studios just outside of Albuquerque.
yeah,
Yeah, they film a lot of stuff here in New Mexico. So yeah,
yeah.
it was probably
I'm pretty
filmed
sure.
here.
Yeah, I think it was, and I think the storyline was the two cowboys. You know, were from New
Woody
Mexico because
Harrelson. Yeah.
and Sutherland, Keither
Yes.
Sutherland. Yeah,
Yes, I think
and when they
so.
show, remember they show up in New York and he like takes this boot off and he's putting knocking it out
Uh,
on the counter and there's
yeah.
rocks and stuff. He's like, little piece of New Mexico right there for you. And then one person's like, oh, what are you guys from Texas? He's like, there's no real cowboys in Texas, you know?
You're in New Mexico, baby.
Yeah, totally. So I thought that was kind of cool, like a little different than what he expects.
Right.
He's, over
Right.
Dallas Cowboys, out of Texas there.
It's funny because there's a big Texas New Mexico rivalry.
Oh,
New Mexicans do not like Texans, but
mm,
the Texans like to come here because we have all the cool mountains.
yeah,
And so the New Mexicans are like, oh, the Texans are here again. It's like where you see New Texas license plates. Yeah, it's a big rivalry. When we first moved here, I'm like, what's going on with the people hate Texans?
yeah. What's up so mad in Texas? Yeah,
Yeah, but apparently because we border Texas, but they like coming to New Mexico because the mountains are here. They get up and out. They can get up in altitude, get out of the heat, whatever. But they kind of
yeah.
completely infiltrate those areas, and they call them little. Then they start calling them Little Texas.
Out there in Little Texas. Oh, geez, rubbing it in, a little salt and wound.
uh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big
Oh, man.
rivalry.
Yeah, I bet.
It's pretty
That
funny.
especially. I mean, even time back into that movie too, right? When they're picking fun at Texas and talking about real cowboys being from New
Mm-hmm.
Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Oh,
I
that's
can totally
awesome.
see that. Yep,
Yeah,
it's
what
a
a
real
great
thing.
movie.
It's a real thing here.
Oh, I can see it. Well, Jan, I'll keep talking to you, so I'm gonna cut myself off. But
Okay.
thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, we'll have to do a round two if you're game for talk more about the cowboy lifestyle and trick
Yeah,
riding and stuff.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, how I met you is through a smoke jumper friend that actually gave trick riding lessons too. So that's how.
That'll be the intro for the next one. I think that's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Because
It
yeah, I
all
can talk
tied
about
in.
rodeo. Yeah. Oh, it's so awesome, Jen. And then the book is Fire Girl, right?
Yep, it's on
Probably get it.
Amazon. But all the book outlets, you can get it online. and 100% of the proceeds go to the Wildland Fire. I mean, 100% of the proceeds go to the Wildland Firefighter Foundation. I don't keep a dime of it.
Oh,
It's
Jan, you're incredible. That's
not even worth my time to keep any of that money. I just give it all to them.
all those families and even myself will thank you because you know how much that
Yeah.
impacts the families. Because you know some of those folks, like their husband they lost on a fire might have been the
Ugh.
only provider for the
Yeah.
household. You
Oh,
know, or
absolutely.
you know you hear those stories all the time, and then
All
you
the
know
time.
or dual income, and you know like whatever happens, or you know maybe the wife is the sole provider and you know
Yeah.
gets killed on a fire, and yeah, so
Yep. And
that's
it's
big. That's
happening more and more because there's more and more fires.
yeah, 100% getting people
Yeah.
engaged. Well, thanks again, Jen, and
All right,
I'll reach out.
Lucas.
We'll do part two soon.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, thanks for joining me, and thanks for tuning in, folks. Appreciate you.